I think over the past several years, we saw that there was really influx of consumer participation in social media, and businesses have been passive in terms of, trying to figure out what their role should be. And now I think they're seeing enough evidence that they really should support social media as a channel. Very similar to how, when email came to being, at first there was some hesitancy in terms of how they should incorporate that into their business processes. And now they're seeing that there's momentum, there's an actual usage by consumers in participation in these communities that are impacting their business. And they're seeing real results from these conversations. So they are getting to grasp the fact that they need to participate as well. And so I think many businesses are trying to figure out what their strategy should be. There are a few businesses who led the curve in terms of testing, and they're proving themselves to be successful in an experimental way. And now that scale needs to be from experimentation to actual implementation. And I think what we'll see in the next 12, 24 months is that businesses will embrace social media as a channel, and they will go first start with listening, but then they will go beyond that to really understand what the value of the information that they're collecting are. Absolutely. I think it's very important for businesses to provide that consistent experience, because I, as a consumer, do not want to interact with a business who really doesn't understand me. I expect businesses to know my interactions, and I don't care what channel I am interacting with them in, be it through a call center agent or through a store clerk when I visit their stores, or via what I'm doing on social media. And right now, much of social media has been focused around service and customers' expectation that if they have issues or frustration, that they want to be heard. But not only is it important to hear them, but it's really important to understand them as individuals and what their needs are. And so it's very critical to have a complete view of their customer and their customers' interactions. And social media is an important channel where businesses need to have that insight. And as a result, organizations who do not bring social media and interactions in that medium into understanding their customers will miss out, and they will lose a competitive advantage to organizations that do. Customers are expressing their wants and needs and frustrations, and that is very insightful information. It's the type of information that I think businesses long to gain, but we didn't have access to it. And now that there is plethora of that information, it's important to make sense of it, because if you don't analyze it and make sense of it, it just becomes noise. And you can't take action, proper action, with noise. And so it's important to not only listen and understand, but to really make sense of that in a holistic way, that where you can enact proper processes and proper actions to ensure that you deliver what your customers want and the experience that they want to have. And you can't get that without going through proper analysis of that valuable information. Businesses have been segmenting their customers. As long as we have known businesses to exist, they really wanted to understand, who brings true value to their organization, so that their ultimate goal of increasing profitability. But much of the focus in the past has been all about, what is the direct interaction that they have with the organization. But social media completely changed that paradigm, because customers are influencing each other, and not understanding the value of customers' influence is really leaving the understanding of that customer's true impact on the organization somewhat partially defined. And it's important to, of course, understand the value that they bring from the transactions that they have and purchases they make with the organization, because ultimately, that's the direct impact to revenue. But it is just as important to also understand the indirect values that they bring to an organization, and particularly with the advent of social media, where there is so much influence that individuals can have on businesses, they must consider customers' referral value. And I think it will only become more important as search engines integrate with social networks. And it's not only going to be about me, recommending certain things to you, but it will be about me searching for something and then finding, oh, Neil has bought this, and I trust Neil. And so referral-based sales is going to only increase. And so understanding the customer's referral value will become even more important as more and more of what consumers do and how organizations do their business will be impacted through the social interactions that we have. Well, I think there are several things that really will define the social movement. Part of it is that businesses will embrace social media as a channel. Other aspects will be, the ownership of that data. As more and more social data gets collected, I think there will be concerns about privacy and who should really own that data. And so I think privacy concerns will get raised in terms of awareness. I think as people start to be more concerned about privacy, I think there will be more legislation related to privacy. And before that, businesses want to ensure that they preserve their brand. And so even before policies or legislation dictate what we can do with individuals' data, I think businesses, smart businesses, will be very cognizant of that concern and ensure that they use the utmost respect for individuals' rights and ensure that they use that properly to ensure that there's trust. And we always talk about the importance of trust and transparency and authenticity, and I think that's going to play a greater part as we go forward. And businesses also must ensure that they preserve that relationship by enacting policies that embrace the customer's right to own their own data. And I think data portability will become a big part of how social media morphs, because I think customers would want to ensure that they dictate where their content is made available.